right? And I was going to go ahead and ask you, how did your faith begin to shape not only your healing, but how did it actually show up in your relationships now and even in your work?
Wow, so during the pandemic, I think that's when what else was there to do, right? We're working out at home, like everything was shut down and we couldn't really do anything. So that's when I really opened up my Bible. Not to say that, from 23 until the pandemic, I wasn't, I was going to church, I was active, and that's where we met during Resonate. But it was during the pandemic when everything started to change and shift. And then I went to therapy. My gosh, come to find out that my therapist is a Christian. So, I found her, came to find out that she was also at my church. So that was definitely a God thing. And I just remember, all the things, the layers of, gosh, the things that I had to unlearn, when you're broken as a child, your views on parenting, everything just started to shift and just clean, the layers of removing the layers of trauma and abuse and addiction and understanding where all that comes from and healing that inner child. And it's changed me. So interestingly enough, my daughter would tell my son, my daughter is, you know, had the unhealed mom. And then my youngest, so I have two, and my youngest has the healed mom, someone who walks with Jesus. But it's interesting, she would say to her brother, hey, you have the healed mom, and she has the unhealed mom. But everything that happened in between has always been like, okay, I have to do better. And, my daughter's my best friend, and she's the one that really, like, hey, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. How about this? So it's always tied to my daughter is a blessing, it's the gift from God. So she's the one that's, speaking life to me. And it's really helped me. Okay, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better every single day. And then God, okay, I'm going to pray. And then, God's helping me process these things. So every day it's been a journey to walk with Jesus. Hope that answered your question.